From gut-wrenching Pueblo, Colorado, it's another thrilling episode of Kerry Fox Live.
Now, of course, as Texas goes, so goes the entire southwest of the United States of America. And that's just what we're after. We liberals want the southwest United States of America to be under the control of the United States of America.
I think it's fair to say that Christian convictions are under attack as never before, not just in our lifetime, but ever before in the history of this great republic. We are moving rapidly toward the criminalization of Christianity.
And you better watch it, Hawk. You know, I know more than a few people who think that just might be a good idea. Now, God said he would not do it. I seem to remember something about God not flooding the earth again. Didn't he promise that he wouldn't do that? Didn't he? Wasn't it promised to Noah after the first flood? Whatever the truth really is, there can be no doubt that God is once again flooding the earth. Only this time, he's flooding us with GOP presidential candidates. Welcome to Kerry Fox Live, a futile attempt to promote truth and common sense in a world gone mad. Mad, I say, just me and my drunken stupor pontificating upon the hypocrisies of our times. A show for liberals, a liberal show. But firstly, I just want to say that this is and always has been a political show. That's what we deal with on this show. We rarely deviate from that topic. The show is about politics. And it's getting to be tiresome to have to stop the political discussion for religion every time God feels like stirring the shit pot. Okay, I'm getting a little tired of it. And we've been talking less and less about politics and government and more about religion instead of government. God even had some Texas loons declare that Moses was a founding father, and they put it in one of their history books that they use in school. More and more, our government has been hijacked, especially on the local and on the state level, by an army of nitwits who all claim to follow God, but would stab each other to death for a better camera shot at the political debates. I'm sorry to say this, but every time I relax my guard, even just a little bit around God, if I start to think just for a moment that maybe I'm dealing with the God of the New Testament, which I think we can all agree is a story of peace, love, non-judgment, and forgiveness. I mean, it doesn't end well. Let's not kid ourselves. But it does seem that every time I let my guard down, if I don't keep a constant eye on God's movements, especially on the local and state level, if I don't watch my back, God never fails to expose himself as the same old reckless and indiscriminate God from the Old Testament. The same old God that sent forth his roving hordes of faithful servants out to kill others in his name. All of it from the same old book that has inspired roving hordes of the faithful to kill entire cultures in his name, in real life, up to this very day. And you know, I don't think I'd mind it so much if God would just keep his interests in things like pay-per-view boxing matches and making sure that Russell Wilson gets into the Super Bowl. But when he interferes more and more in the most vital of our functions in our civilization, I don't know about you, but he really starts to get on my nerves. And there can be no doubt that God is interfering in the most basic of our nation's functions to the detriment of all Americans. God has been pushing fascist legislation to discriminate against gay people, and then making a mint on GoFundMe. God has tried to start a war with the nation of Iran, and he has committed sedition against the United States of America. God continues to deny health care access to millions of Americans and keeps trying to privatize Social Security, raise the retirement age, and even get rid of Medicare. Forever the right-wing politician, God treats us all like we're stupid, and he makes promises, but he leaves out the vital parts of the offer so that he can't be held accountable. God is a lot like all Republican politicians in that very same way. And I believe it's now obvious that God has gone back on his word one more time concerning one of his oldest promises from the Old Testament. And that makes it abundantly clear that we cannot believe a single thing that God has to say. Now, for some reason, we aren't quite sure of the ultimate motive, not yet, but God is once again flooding the earth. Yes, he broke his promise. He said he would not flood the earth again, but he is flooding the United States of America with religiously manipulative right-wing presidential candidates, dozens of them. It's the typical right-wing promise and the typical right-wing flip-flop. God promised Noah he would not destroy the earth by flood ever again. That's what the rainbow thing is supposed to be all about. But as you know, religious and right-wing Republicans hate that rainbow. God said he wouldn't flood the earth ever again, but he did not say he wouldn't destroy the earth by flooding America with the most religiously vile and underhanded scum he could possibly find, and then have them all run for president. Now, obviously, control is a primary motive, but what exactly is the ultimate goal behind God's latest flood? Like always, we can only watch what they do, which is usually the polar opposite of what they're saying. But then, as they each pay homage to the one who told them all to run, they are also saying some pretty amazing shit, too.
Elijah called upon God to send the fire down, and the fire fell. And God showed up.
All right.
As Forrest Gump so brilliantly once said. Sometimes maybe we don't want to stand in the gap, but the question is, are we willing to stand in the gap? Elijah stood in the gap. This is quite a gap. God wants us to stand in the gap.
You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp creole, shrimp gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried. There's pineapple shrimp, lemon shrimp, coconut shrimp, pepper shrimp, shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burger, shrimp sandwich.
My heart's broken because a lot of pastors will stand in the pulpit, but they won't stand in the gap.
Gap in the brain.
To stand in the gap to the pulpit and to the people broke my heart. I would be willing to stand all by myself, but to call fire from heaven and believe that God plus one is still a majority. And I ask you to stand in the gap.
You stand in the freaking gap, man.
They don't come from man. They come from God Almighty.
I will say this, I am saddened to see that some here, not everyone, but some here,
he's speaking,
are so consumed with hate that you cannot address your brother. I will say this, then I will not stand with you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Get out of here.
As long as abortion is legal, at least according to the Supreme Court, legal in this country,
tricky,
we will never have rest, because that law does not comport with God's law, which says as long as there is a discordance between the two,
he's making this shit up,
there will be agitation.
You know, I did very well academically. I won a scholarship to Yale.
The genius Ben Carson.
My grades were so bad that even if I'd gotten an A on the final, I still would have failed. That's how bad it was. I said, Lord, medicine is the only thing I ever wanted to do. I always thought that's what you wanted for me. I said, so would you please tell me what it is you really want me to do?
Come on, God.
I picked up that big chemistry book. I was going to learn the whole thing that night. And, of course, I fell asleep.
Right.
I dreamed I was in this large auditorium, just me, and a nebulous figure working out chemistry problems.
Nebulous
figure?
figure?
And I awakened early in the morning. That dream was so vivid in my mind. And when I went to take the test the next morning, it was like the Twilight Zone. I opened that book and I recognized the first problem. It was one of the ones I dreamed about. And the next, and the next, and the next. And I aced the exam.
Bullshit.
And I promised the Lord he would never have to do that for me again.
God, the dozens of Republican presidential candidates, and all of the teabagging followers who will decide the nomination are all going crazy over one thing that they just cannot reconcile in their bigoted and teeny tiny reptilian brains, and that is the issue of gay marriage. Even though they all claim to not be gay, they contend that other people getting gay married somehow affects them, their families, and their own third and fourth marriages. God has declared that he is against gay marriage, and because of that, everything from executions of gay people to legislation against gay people, civil war, and even the elimination of marriage itself has been thrown onto the table by God and all of his religiously fanatical and paranoid followers. Being the ultimate lying weasel of a right-wing politician, God has resorted to using the dumbest people he can find to speak out against gay marriage and persecute people in his name.
I'm asked sometimes whether I would ever allow my decisions in government to be influenced by my Christian faith. The simple and safe reply is no, never, of course not.
Yes.
And this confusion is all part of a false narrative that casts religious Americans as intolerant scolds, running around trying to impose their views on everyone. The progressive political agenda is ready for its next great leap forward. And religious people or churches are getting in the way.
They are.
And you and I are supposed to just get with the program.
Get with the program.
We need a spiritual revival to fix what ails our country.
Another dumb governor.
God has given us the book of life. He doesn't let us see the pages for today and tomorrow, but he does let you see the last page in the book of life.
Bobby Jindal wants the last page.
And on the last page, our God wins.
He wins. He scores.
It is a time-honored tradition going back to our nation's founding for our presidents, for our leaders to turn to God for guidance, for wisdom. George Washington did it. Abraham Lincoln did it. Harry Truman did it.
You know, these crap weasels are all talking as though they know God personally. And just look at how many of them there are. God told all of those assholes to run for president. You can't trust a God who would do something like that. I'm really sorry to say it, but if this collection of nitwits is the best that God can do, that's one sorry-ass God the wingnuts have hitched their futures to.
Blame it on the rain that was falling.
Sorry ass.
Blame it on the stars that did shine that night. Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. Blame it on the rain, Blame it on the rain.
You know, by the way, I don't know what I can say that I haven't said already, or that everybody, almost everybody has already said about this crazy thing in Texas where they think they're about to be invaded. And depending on the version you hear of the army that's coming out of Walmarts, the abandoned Walmarts, see, that's the HQ of the invasion. Depending on what version of the story you hear, they're invading troops from the United States into Texas, or in some cases, they might even be Chinese troops, and that would make perfect sense since all of the products in Walmart come from China. This crazy Texas invasion story just won't go away. The idea of the U.S. military invading the state of Texas has actually been building momentum for the past week, but hopefully we're going to put it to rest right now. I mean, just get rid of this thing and find the truth and put it to rest with a special report from Midland, Texas, and less more.
Okay, I want you to listen to something, okay?
Okay.
I want you to hear this.
All right.
Here you go.
Oh, man, what's that noise? What is that?
That noise?
Yeah.
When you hear Governor?
Yeah.
That noise is coming from the countless tanks rolling down the street in Midland, Texas.
Tanks are rolling down the street.
Hundreds of tanks, trucks carrying troops, movable artillery, just rolling down the street here in Midland, Texas.
Les, we've been over this time and again. The military does this sort of thing. They're always doing training at the military bases.
I keep hearing that too. I do. I keep hearing that too. But they don't have a military base here in Midland, Texas. These tanks and troops are all coming out of the Walmart.
They're coming out of the Walmart?
Yes, they're coming out of the Walmart. They're rolling out of the shipping bays in the back of the Walmart.
That's ridiculous, Les.
It's not ridiculous. They're just driving out of the shipping bays, out into the parking lot, and then onto the interstate.
Out of the Walmart, onto the interstate.
That's right. That's the way it shapes up.
Which direction are they going in, Les?
Both. They're all both ways, east and west.
Of course,
both directions on the interstate.
Right, both ways, yeah.
I didn't have any hope that you would believe me. I really didn't. I didn't have any hope that you would believe it.
How many tanks and troops would you say are coming out of the Walmart, Les?
I do have, yeah. Since I've been here, 378 tanks have rolled out of the shipping bays, and if you average 25 troops per truck, somewhere in the neighborhood of 8,500 troops. But I've only been here a few hours, though.
That many, huh? That's
yes,
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So you think this is an invasion, right? Their invasion of Texas.
No, how can it be anything like that? Oh.
Okay, you don't have to get snippy, Les. Just keep us informed if anything new happens. Okay? Just let us know.
Right. Yes, I'll give you a call if anything unusual happens, right?
Come on now.
In the meantime, I'll just keep watching this invading army drive out of the shipping base at Walmart.
All right, Les. Well, thank you.
Yeah, right.
I'm running for president. Americans have fought their way back from tough economic times, but the deck is still stacked in favor of those at the top. Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion. So you can do more than just get by. You can get ahead and stay ahead, because when families are strong, America is strong. So I'm hitting the road to earn your vote, because it's your time, and I hope you'll join me on this journey.
concealing. All in the name of peace and love. What are we fighting for? I thought the point was healing. Clearly I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. Show me what you've been concealing. All in the name of peace and love. What are we fighting for in the war? I thought the point was healing. Clearly I was dead wrong.
I'm telling you, these holier-than-thou people, they're some dangerous and fascist mofos. And this God character, and his right-wing followers, those people could get us all killed, I'm telling you. Stop by the website, kerryfoxlive.com. That's kerryfoxlive.com. That's our home on the internet. Our entire archive is located at kerryfoxlive.com. Share the page with your fellow leftist liberal friends. Thank you very much in advance. We're on YouTube now with the specialized URL under Kerry Fox Live. I thought of it myself. You can also share Kerry Fox Live on Facebook with your friends. Follow the show and stay abreast of breaking political news along with me on Twitter at Kerry Fox Live. Thank you for listening to me spew as I do. Until next time, this is Kerry Fox saying,
just get with the program.
Recognize that if you change the definition of marriage for one group, what do you say to the next group?
What is the next group?
Do you say, well, we changed it to this group, but that's it. We're not changing it for anybody else. Does that seem fair?
Well, but what other groups are there?
There are more groups, I guarantee.
But like,
I think you know that there are more groups. Everybody knows there are more groups.
Honest to God, I don't know what you're talking about.